Hello and welcome to my comic of the week, which isn't actually a comic that came out this week because comics haven't come out yet this week, and or the week before that. Well, I think the week before that, but yeah, but we all know what's going on. Comics. Oh, poor comics. But we still have the old comics. And my comic this week is Shadow of the Batman. It's a miniseries out of Shadow of the Batman, and this is The Last Arkham by Alan Grant and who was that? Norm Brayfogle. I don't know who that is, but he's only okay. Alan Grant was a pretty good writer. I like him, and this comic I honestly didn't know I had until a couple weeks ago. I was just going through comics in my stash that I hadn't read yet, and this was still sealed in a poly bag. I must have just got it randomly. It's like with a bunch of comics, but I ripped it open and this was in there, and after I read it I was like, oh, I had read the trade. I believe I got it from the library or something and read it when I was going through I have to read every Batman story I can find phase, but there are too many, so I stopped. But yeah, this was a good story, and this is of course only the first issue. The cool thing about this one is it came with a bunch of other stuff with it. Before we get into the comic, I'll show you the bookmark. Shadow of the Bat. I should have it. It looks alright. And then it came with a couple of little posters. And one is just the cover of the book, which is okay. And the other is really funky picture of a crouching Batman, which is relevant to the story. So he's in chains in a cell. I wonder why. And then this I thought was pretty cool. And it seems like they do this every once in a while. You get the floor plans for the new Arkham, because in the story they're rebuilding Arkham, or at least a portion of it. And you get the blueprints, which is pretty cool. Little legend. Yeah, but this is a cool little story and a cool little package. And then this weird thing is a pop-up of Arkham Asylum. I don't even know if I can get this in here. Yeah, it's pretty weird. A pop-up with all of the bad guys. Pretty cool. No, but yeah, I just thought that was awesome. Arkham Asylum Dishonor Roll. And it's all the bad guys. But let's get into this story a little bit. Yeah, now I wish I had other issues because I would just go through the whole thing, but I don't, so I won't. But this just, like I said, it spun out of the Shadow of the Bat comic book. But taking all of the inmates out of Arkham because they're gonna renovate. But because it's a, Batman comic book, something has to go wrong, and one of the inmates gets a shotgun, and it turns, and this one might be a flashback. I don't know. I'm not reading right now. But here they show one of the bad guys get a shotgun and turn it on Arkham, I guess the son of the guy who made the asylum. And this is intense. He just uses psychology to talk the guy down, but he messes with his head so hard he shoots himself in the face. Yeah. And you then there's this, I think it's on the next page. His face changes after he does it. He's like, no remorse, and he has a sadistic streak, which the story delves into a bit. And then throughout they go through the different inmates. They just introduce a couple inmates. They talk about the prison the asylum, sorry, it's a prison, but the asylum being remodeled. And they have a quick cut to Gotham City. Some criminals doing crime stuff. That's not a batarang. That's the R. Right, and this was super weird. The art, I think I like it. It's super funky. It's this weird angle, and the characters are like elongated, super stylized, but it flows. It's like obvious. Like it draws your eye. It's good visual storytelling because it draws your eye across, and it's obvious what's going on, and it looks cool, but it looks super weird. So yeah, I'm not sure if I like it, but I don't hate it. That last panel I don't like. I don't like Robin in that one. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and another one, yeah, just an elongated Robin sword. And you get Nightwing. I noticed Batman wasn't there. Where's Batman? And they go back to the doctor, introducing, psychoanalyzing patients. And that's when we find out Batman is a patient. Dun dun dun. And that's that weird other poster. Batman's a inmate. The goal of the doctor is to get Batman to remove his mask on his own, to reveal who he is to him. And you have like the orderlies or whoever these guys come in. So the doctor goes to sedate him. The orderlies come in to sedate him, I guess, so he can psychoanalyze him and get him under the influence and get him to take off his mask more easily. But he's Batman, so he beats up the guys while he's handcuffed. Then he turns around. That's a pretty cool page, but nothing fantastic. He just rips the chains out of the wall. I am not insane. Batman's insane. And then they hose him down and take care of him. The orderlies want to take his mask off. And the doctor stops him because he wants him to reveal his own self. And he's like, once he reveals himself, there's no more Batman. And that's the end of this. There are 3 more issues. There's a little back thing with Michael Yuri. I never heard of him before that I know of. But yeah, this is a cool comic, a cool package with all this other stuff that I thought was like completely unnecessary and kind of corny, but also like cool, and I'm glad I have it. But now it's time to go through, because this comic had some awesome ads. Harrison Ford, Patriot Games, hard from 90s, my god. This was early 90s, I believe. Just hardcore 90s. I think that was like the, I always forget the guy's name, Jack Ryan, maybe. And the only one of those I ever liked, I think, was one in the series was The Hunt for Red October with Alec Baldwin. I think he played that character. I think Tom Cruise played that character, and now I think there's a TV show. But I don't watch that stuff. Then the ad for 2 NES games that I've never heard of. Hills Far. That sounds vaguely familiar. Hills Far sounds vaguely familiar. And then Pool of Radiance doesn't sound familiar at all. 2 games that put you in your place. Now you have 2 official AD&D. Forgotten Realms World to challenge. I don't know what that is. Cool World is the knockoff of Roger Rabbit. A little bit raunchier, a little bit more adult, and quite a bit worse. But it's a fun watch. Oh, and Alien 3. Oh my goodness. I always liked Alien 3, and that's before, I always forget what the name, they had a studio cut that added stuff that David Finch actually wanted in the movie. He says they butchered it. I always liked the theatrical release, and I never understood all the hate for it. It certainly wasn't as good as the first 2, but I honestly think I think Aliens is horribly overrated, and this one's horribly underrated. And I mean, it's the best. it's not as good as the first two, but it's better than every Alien movie that came after it. I mean, so you can't knock it too hard. And the first two are like two of the best movies ever made to some people. The first one I love. The second one's okay. Oh my god. There's a Turbo Graphics ad for $99. Oh my god. That must have been towards the end more, because I thought the Turbo Graphics was like way more expensive than the any Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. If it's selling for $99, that must have been like right before they shut it up to business. But yeah, I never had a Turbo Graphics, never played one. I don't think I've ever played a Turbo Graphics game. It's not really it's an in-house ad for what's coming out. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Legion of Superheroes Annual 3, The Batman Collection #1, Guy Gardner Reborn. I didn't know they did that. And a Green Lantern t-shirt, just a little catalog type stuff. Aha! The Lynx. That was Atari, wasn't it? Yeah, Atari Lynx. Yeah, I never played one of those either, but yeah, that's cool. That's 99 too, so yeah, all that stuff was just, yeah, empty in the warehouse prices right there. But the early 90s was fun while it lasted. Kind of, yeah, the video games kind of busted in the mid 90s in 64, Saturn, Dreamcast era, but then they came back strong with PS2. Oh, and Batman Returns. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't even see that one. I mean, I saw Batman Returns. I didn't notice this ad until just now. The second best Batman movie ever made, even though it's horribly flawed. Batman '89, the first one in this series, is the best Batman movie ever made. And then, who knows? But yeah, that's Comic of the Week. That was an awesome one. This is a fun ride. But I'm gonna try to keep these coming out a little bit more regular than once a month. I also have to change the title to Comic of the Month, won't I? And I hope that comic book stores open back up. I guess I'll just have to, if they do, if my comic book store opens back up, I'm gonna actually visit them and spend some money there, because being forced to be closed for a month now, that has to be tough for a comic shop. Anybody who watches this, go to your comic book store when they open back up and buy as much as you possibly can. That's my plan. Have a good one.